Well, thank you all so much for coming. It is such a privilege for Kiva and USF School of Management to join together this evening. My name is Ine Park, and I'm on the marketing team at Kiva Zip, which you'll be hearing a lot more about in a few minutes, which is a pilot program of Kiva. You may have heard of Kiva, but there is a slight distinction, which again we will explain. Tonight was behind the scenes at Kiva, so you'll learn a lot more about the organization in addition to Kiva Zip, this pilot program that focuses on 0% interest loans to entrepreneurs in Kenya as well as the US. Now this is an event that's the first of its kind, so we're so excited to pilot this, if you will, and also see what comes of this. We're excited to see what kind of relationships are going to be built here tonight and the conversations that will begin and help to continue to grow the local economy here in the Bay Area. We have a lot going on, so I'm going to stop talking and hand it over to my colleague.
Hi, welcome everyone. I don't know if it's working.
It is on.
Okay. My name is Aurélie, and I work also on the Kiva Zip team. I'm the head of marketing. I'm French, so I apologize for my English. At this time, I would like to introduce the Dean of USF School of Management, Dr. Elizabeth Davis. It's such a pleasure for us to have her tonight. And we know that she's been a fan of Kiva for many years. So it's a great pleasure. Welcome.
Welcome. Let's give her a hand.
Yes.
It really is wonderful to be here tonight, and very much an honor. Years ago when I started in academia, I had come in from the business world, but I started in academia. My area of expertise is strategy, but also entrepreneurship. And so, when I first started teaching entrepreneurship, and Kiva just emerged as a concept and really was beginning to expand around the globe, I asked my students whether or not we should support a business. And my students in entrepreneurship each gave $5 to help support a proprietor who was building a food business in Kenya. So that was the first project that we worked on. So for me, this was a very exciting opportunity to bring USF to Kiva, to do this behind the scenes, and also to acknowledge that both Kiva and USF share some very common and fundamental values. Both organizations are really committed to educating what I would call the next generation of conscious leaders, those leaders who are engaged in very purposeful activities. And in addition to that, we really have always been a culture of innovation. Kiva stands for innovation. USF is engaged in innovation. So it's an honor to be here tonight, to have Kiva really share their innovations with us and also share in that common mission of social justice around the world. So thank you very much. Hope you enjoy it.
Thank you. We are truly excited about the opportunity to continue to grow this partnership between USF and the Bay Area's economy and the local entrepreneurs. This is a promising partnership, and we can feel the potential here. Thank you.
Absolutely. There will be more news to come, I'm sure. But at this time, we'd like to invite Kiva Zip's Senior Director, Jonny Price, to come forward and explain a little bit more about the program. If you haven't heard Jonny speak, get excited. He's very passionate about what we do here, and we hope that passion inspires you as well.
Hi. Wow. Building me up. Now I've got to meet these expectations. Well, thanks for coming to Kiva. It's really, really good to have so many people here. And like Ine and Aurélie mentioned, to be building a solid partnership with USF. We're really excited about that. My name's Jonny Price. I lead the Kiva Zip program. It's a pilot that we launched about 3.5 years ago. To understand where Kiva Zip comes from, I need to backtrack and talk a little bit about the history of Kiva. We were founded in 2005. And most of you guys might know this, we crowdfund microloans to entrepreneurs around the world. So we'll make a $200 loan to a small business owner in Uganda, and that loan will come from 8 people in this room, each lending $25. Lend to that shop owner, then she repays. You get your $25 back, and then you can re-lend it and help someone else. Our first loans were in Uganda. We have now made loans in 85 countries around the world. We supported 1.4 million small business owners with $700 million of capital. Those loans have been funded by almost exactly the same number of lenders. I think we're at 1.3 million lenders now. So there's a beautiful symmetry between lenders and borrowers. And those loans are paying back with a 99% repayment rate. So if you lend $25 on Kiva, you're 99% guaranteed that you're going to get that money back and you can reinvest it. Normally, the main Kiva model works where we partner with microfinance institutions on the ground who administer the loans for us. So we have about 300 of these partners throughout the world. And when we've crowdfunded that $200, we will send it not directly to the entrepreneur, but to this MFI microfinance institution who will then administer it. They're the boots on the ground, if you like, that has made Kiva work and enabled us to scale and maintain this 99% repayment rate over the last 10 years. Well, where Kiva Zip comes in is that at the end of 2011, we decided we'd make a small bet. And I love how the dean was talking about innovation. We strive to be a highly innovative culture at Kiva. And we knew that we didn't have all the answers when we launched this Kiva Zip pilot. But Kiva's CEO, Matt, at the time, and President Premal Shah said, let's take a small bet and try out this new innovative model of what if we could lend directly to that entrepreneur rather than through the microfinance institution. So we tried it out in late 2011, made our first loans. We launched Kiva Zip in the US and in Kenya. I'm going to pause there and ask you guys, why, imagine we're 6 years into Kiva, we've supported close to 1 million borrowers, we're doing $100 million of loans a year with a 99% repayment rate. Why might we want to say, let's give this thing a shot, like let's take a bet on this innovation of lending directly to the entrepreneur? Any ideas? Why would we want to do that? Yeah, that's a great one. So we're a technology company. We wondered if we can use a mobile payments platform called M-Pesa, which 2/3 of the population of Kenya has access to. If we can use M-Pesa to make loans directly to small business owners in Kenya, can we lower the costs of doing microfinance and pass those cost savings on to borrowers in the form of lower interest rates? So our interest rates on Kiva Zip are 0. There are no fees and no interest rates at all. We have a couple of borrowers who are going to be speaking. They can back me up on this. It sounds too good to be true, but ask them. It's really true. That's one reason. Lower interest rates, lower costs. Any others? All right. Brand promotion. Yeah, what do you mean by that? I'm just going to pass the microphone over. You can do the rest of the presentation. Yeah, that's one of the ones we're really excited about right now. Lisa recently got a loan with Kiva Zip. Last year we rolled out this innovation. We call it the private fundraising period, where before you get posted publicly on Kiva Zip's website, you need to invite a certain number of people from your friends and family network to fund your loan in private. When you get to a certain number of people, then we post you publicly on our site. Normally, risk management, if you want to do tighter risk management, I was speaking to Sarah, she worked for HSBC in credit cards. Conventional risk management says if you want to get a higher repayment rate, you are going to have to make less loans. The growth of your program is in stark conflict with tighter risk management. What this private fundraising period is enabling us to do is Lisa is, just as she is kind of proving to us that she's credible, which is increasing the repayment rate on the loans that we're getting. Since we rolled out this private fundraising period, we've seen a significant improvement in our repayment rate. Lisa is also paying it forward and helping us to grow the number of people that hear about Kiva, because she's telling her friends and family and her customer base and her Facebook network and thousands of Twitter followers about Kiva Zip and about her loan. So every small business that we are supporting in the US is now bringing in, on average, about 20 or 25 new lenders to help us grow the movement. And they're learning about Kiva, and it's increasing our repayment rate at the same time. So we're really, as you can tell by how fast I'm speaking, excited about this innovation. There's two more reasons as well. We wanted to expand access. So there might be a region in Kenya where there are no microfinance institutions operating, but they have access to this mobile payments technology in M-Pesa. So now we can make loans to that island in the middle of Lake Victoria where there was previously no access to finance. In the US, it's usually more around risk. So most micro lenders might be reluctant to lend to a startup business because they're seen as too risky. Or they might only lend to you if you have a certain amount of collateral, if you have a certain FICO score, or if you've got, demonstrated cash flows. So we wanted to say, rather than a bank manager deciding objectively who gets a loan based on objective criteria, financial criteria, we wanted to empower you guys as our lenders, our community of lenders, to say yes to a small business owner who is used to hearing no. So the third reason, it's about expanding access by putting the decision of who gets a loan, which small business owners gets a loan, in the hands of our community of 1 million people. And for us, that's like the same as Airbnb is putting who gets to be a hotel or where hotels are in the hands of us rather than in the hands of the CEO of Starwood or Hilton. Or it's the same as Wikipedia is now putting like what articles get in the encyclopedia, not in the hands of a encyclopedia writer, but in the hands of the whole world. And then the last thing is, has escaped me. What was the last thing? Oh yeah, community. So Kiva is all about community, connecting people. So Lisa was saying earlier, she had 154 lenders on her loan, and a couple of those reached out to her and said, we want to come and find your baked goods at the farmer's market. And most loans from banks are just about the money. We hope with Kiva Zip that these loans are about more than just money. They're about connecting small business owners with a community of people who can support them, who can give them business advice, who can promote their business on social media, and even, we hope, economically help them by becoming their customers. So expanding access, lowering the cost of capital, connecting people, and even helping us to grow the program by recruiting the small business owners that we hope we're really helping, providing a valuable service for. They are now becoming our decentralized marketing team, helping us grow this program and increasing our impact in the long term. So, without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Lisa to tell you about her business, Green Girl Bake Shop.
We'll have Jonny ask me questions. My name is Lisa Stoy. I am the owner of Green Girl Bake Shop. We're an all-natural, organic, gluten-free, vegan ice cream sandwich and ice cream company. It's a mouthful, and it sounds, to some, probably really gross, but I promise you I brought you samples, and it's really tasty, just on the healthier. I learned about Kiva Zip through Centro. I went through their program, and I also was in an amazing commercial kitchen in Oakland, Kitchener, Oakland, oh my God, is it? And the Kiva came out and spoke with us, and I immediately knew, I knew about Kiva in other countries, but I was new to hear about Kiva Zip, and I knew immediately that I wanted to be involved, and I wanted to know if they would accept me. So it was a little bit longer down the road. But I knew that they were someone that I wanted to be involved with, put my name with. What I really gained from the experience was a sense of community and purpose. I think that Kiva Zip does a great job at supporting the community and small budding entrepreneurs. I think it's so important for us, people like myself. I took the most that I could take, a $10,000 loan, and it was to purchase a batch freezer. I'm in a huge growth transition right now, and we were doing everything out of small 2-quart containers, as shameful as that is to say, but we had them lined up 10 to 12 at a time, just going to town. So this was huge for us. It made our lives so much easier. It also improved the quality of our ice cream. So that was just heaven. What I didn't expect to get from this was just the community. I expected the local community, but I wasn't expecting it to be worldwide. And I have to tell you, it was so much fun to wake up every morning and to go into my inbox and to see, oh, someone from Israel contributed, someone from Germany contributed. It was such a fun experience. And even more so was communicating with them and just them wishing the well for me and wanting my business to grow. It was just such a great experience. The other thing that I would have to say is just the encouragement of everybody. I mean, from the family, and what Jonny had talked about was, having to get the 20 people from my family and friends. They've always supported me. That's never been an issue, but with this, they really got involved. And I have to tell you, just with even the payments coming back every month, they're so excited. I get emails and text messages and phone calls and, oh my gosh, you're paying it back. Oh, this is so great. I'm like so excited for you. And them wanting to reinvest and them understanding what Kiva Zip really represents. Because a lot of people don't. Like, we're kind of blessed. We're all in the know, but a lot of the community is not in the know yet. So something. And then lastly was just my Centro. Centro was huge at helping me get this. They were my trustee through this, and they really helped guide me. It took me a long time to get everything written. I had an amazing MBA student who I worked with from USF, Serena. Yeah. She was awesome, and even after we stopped working together, we still worked together. Centro set it up so we could actually meet. I met her in the city. She helped me write all the content, get it all dialed in and ready to go. So without Centro and obviously Kiva Zip, my company would not be growing the way that it's growing. So I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
And Arturo, if you could speak on behalf of Centro at this point.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Are we all here? All right, cool. I'm Arturo Noriega from Centro Community Partners. I'm the founder and executive director. We started about 5 years ago. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you. We've been a supporter of Kiva Zip for all the years, actually, since the beginning. And it's been quite an honor to be a part of that process. And we get the opportunity to work with amazing people every day. How cool is that? To have their dreams, that are putting it on right in front of you, completely vulnerable and authentic. And we have the opportunity as advisors to help them make it happen, make it true. So how many people here actually want to change the world? Come on, I know all you do. Come on. All right, cool. How many know how to do it? That part gets a little harder, right? So at Central Community Partners, we actually started to develop a program that we figured out how to kind of help everybody how to change the world. And we do it one entrepreneur at a time. And Lisa is one of our best examples of one who actually followed the advice and said, hey, you guys might be actually okay. And be part of a larger community. Since then, we've worked with almost 100 entrepreneurs and 100 MBAs from all the best schools in the area, including USF. And we're very proud to be a part of this incredible community that we have. I saw there's Lynette, and with USF and some of the best students. They come, and I have Eric here. Eric, come up with me. And yeah, no pressure. But Eric was one of our top MBA advisors who worked with another wine company. And he could talk, I just wanted to invite him so he could talk a little bit about the MBA experience. And how many people are MBAs? All right, quite a few here. Okay, great. So this is a really good opportunity. Just before I hand it to you for a moment, entrepreneurship at Centro is all about what we focus on. Access to capital, we work with our partners, and we train MBAs and the entrepreneurs. And that's the two things we're awesome at doing. So we will teach you things that you don't learn in MBA school, like how to listen. But he'll tell you more about that. Sure. So here's Eric.
All right, thank you, Arturo. When we went to the this program through Centro, it was a very, very exciting program. I was very excited to go through it. I got a chance to work with an entrepreneur who was starting a wine club called Urban Vino, which is focused on local wineries that are owned by minorities and women in the San Francisco Bay Area. And for me, it worked in because my background's from the wine industry, which they didn't know about until I told them about later. But it was interesting to work with an entrepreneur who's trying to build a business from scratch. And this is very different from the typical case studies that you read about in the classrooms, because you're working with real people with a real business. And it allowed me to take all of the classes I was taking at the time, whether finance, analytics, strategy, marketing, and put it all together on a real project, which really mattered. And you think to yourself, wow, it's so big. It's a little bit intimidating at first, but once you just settle down and realize, okay, you already know what to do. It's how to execute. It was just a great experience. I'm really happy to have worked with Arturo and DJ and everybody at Centro. And it was just a great, great experience. I really enjoyed it.
I just want to finish by saying if you want to know how to change the world, start with Kiva. And look what your donation can do for one entrepreneur in another part of the world that you can really connect with, that with their story really resonates with you, because that's really how it starts. And that draws the connection, and you become a part of a larger community, which is what I think what we all want to be part of. This is a larger community and doing something much greater than ourselves. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Arturo. We'll have some time for questions and answers because I'm sure many of you are really intrigued by what you're hearing this evening. But we do have someone else we'd like to bring up. I'd like to introduce Luisa Alberto, who's another borrower on Kiva Zip. She's with So Juice right here in San Francisco.
Thank you. Hi, guys. This is fun. So I'm Luisa, and I'm here with my business partner, Derek. And over there, if you haven't tried some of the juice we have, you got to make it over there because it's great. We make juice fresh to order, so we specialize in sourcing produce from California using only what's in season, growing here, and we don't do a lot of bottled manufacturing. It's all made on the spot, so people have commented tonight about how fresh it tastes. Derek made it about an hour ago. So that's how that works. So you can imagine the challenges in growing a business like that, especially in San Francisco right now, with the retail side of things being as they are. We right now are at the Ferry Plaza Farmers Market on Thursdays and Saturdays, so that's been incredible. It's an incredible community there. And QUESA is the nonprofit organization there who's our trustee, and they are incredible and vouched for us, which was very kind of them. And we've done them proud. I think we did our loan, gosh, it's been maybe a year. We're about halfway through paying it back, which is great. We've had customers who are regulars who contributed and get the emails, and we get the same thing, calls and emails about us paying it back, and now they're going to save that money and reinvest it because it's money that now they it's not in their pocket, and they feel so great getting these emails that they'll probably reinvest it in the community. We first found out about Kiva through our network of food makers and producers. There are it's a very tight-knit community of people who make really great food, which is lucky for us because we learn a lot from people who have been doing it a lot longer than we have. And so we learned it from them. I think it was Anna, she runs a Russian bakery in Vernal Hill. Her stuff is awesome. Anna Piroshki, I can't remember her. Awesome, cool. She's fabulous. She is a very business savvy woman, and so I pay very close attention to what she does because it's usually right on. She's great, and I think she was able to get a van through Kiva Zip, and I thought, oh, well, if she can get a van, maybe I can get something too. And so what we did is we needed to purchase, I should have brought these little mason jars. They're really cute, and they have our logo on them. They're printed, and we needed to buy them by the pallet, which for a very small business that works, sells juice at a farmer's market and also online through Good Eggs, in very small quantities, it's hard for us to be able to invest in a pallet. But we really needed one. And so I thought, well, this is a great opportunity for us to go through Kiva Zip because not only do we use them to fill orders through Good Eggs, but a lot of our customers at the Ferry Plaza, instead of using compostable cups, are able to use our mason jars and come back and refill. And so we reuse a lot of them and cut down on a lot of waste that way. And so it was very relevant for all of our customers to throw in $5, $25, $50, $100 here. But what was really incredible was once we got past the friends and family, to throw it out into the world. It's like, who cares about a little juice company in San Francisco? Well, a lot of people do. It's really cool. So, $5 here and $20 there, and this is such a great idea. Was really cool, and it really opened us up. We're a very local San Francisco-centric company, and it opened our world up to this international community, and that felt really cool. And it was nice to feel connected and be a part of that. So once we pay this one off, I think we're going to keep going through the ranks. Kiva Zip's been wonderful, and come get some juice. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you. And like she said, you should make sure that you try Lisa and Louisa's samples before you leave. They're delicious. So now I'm sure you're all asking yourself, I want to know more, I want to do more, I want to get more involved. So we have a lot of opportunities for you tonight. So now I'm just going to handle the mic to Rachel. I don't know where she is.
Oh,
There
over
she
there.
is. And she's going to talk to you about a great event taking place in May.
Hi guys, I'm Rachel. I work for the business development team here at Kiva, and I'm here to just quickly talk to you guys about East Bay Gives. East Bay Gives is on May 5th, and it's a giving day that's put on by the East Bay Community Foundation, and they bring together a lot of participating nonprofits that work in the area. So on May 5th, individuals can go on East Bay Gives website and make a donation of a minimum of $20 for any of the organizations, and we really want to promote Kiva on here because all the donations that we generate through this program are going to go to support the Kiva City Oakland program that we're hoping to launch this year, which is a Zip program that is really going to help generate more lenders and borrowers in our local community, and specifically the East Bay. So we want to spread the word. The more donations that we get, the more opportunities we have to get prizes, which could come in the form of matching funds or just more donations for Kiva. So on May 5th, make sure to spread the word, and also go on eastbaygives.org and to donate to Kiva.
Great. So and we mentioned there are a lot of different opportunities and ways that you can get involved. East Bay Gives Day, which is again on May. Thank you. You're all listening. Next also is Kiva-U, which is another initiative that Kiva has that deals with, obviously, educational institutions. I know many of you are MBA students, but at the undergraduate level, as well as much younger, Kiva-U helps to really involve and educate young people about entrepreneurism and how they can not only support a lot of these businesses, but also maybe develop that spirit themselves. So what we do with that is to create teams and clubs at different universities, high schools, even elementary school students get involved, and you should see some of the projects that these kids do. It's pretty amazing. So if you want more information on that, we do have a website as well on the kiva.org website. You can find it really easily. And there's also an email address that's kiva-u@kiva.org. So that may be something that some of the undergraduate students here at USF may be interested in promoting as well.
Three more things, very short. First, if you want to know more about our volunteer program, if you want to be an intern, we have Mike over there, right there.
Yay, Mike.
From the people team, so he will be more than happy to answer all your questions about the volunteering program that Ine and I are part of.
Yes.
Another thing, if you want to register right now as a lender and as a trustee on Kiva Zip, we have some computers over there at the back, so you can just...
Or there will be. If you don't see them, they're coming.
And finally, we have all your email information, so we'll make sure to keep you posted on all great stories about borrowers and great events that are going to take place at Kiva.
I mean, I think it's hard to leave this night without being really touched about hearing some of the impacts, the dreams that have come true. So make sure you taste some of those dreams. We want to thank Lisa and Luisa for bringing their great samples. Also, a huge thank you, obviously, to USF and the community, all of you here, for coming out, for supporting entrepreneurism in this Bay Area, for wanting to see the economy grow and support people who have their dreams, and especially to Dean Davis, the many other guests here, and Susan Evans, because you were just great. I don't know where you are. Yes, thank you for helping to bring this about. And then, of course, here at Kiva, we do want to thank Chelsea, who is our Senior Director, I believe, of Marketing and Community, if I said that correctly, who helped put this together as well. And to Johnny for being as gregarious as I promised him to be, right? Did I not? And our President Premo, who couldn't stay for the entire event, but he's been a huge proponent, and we look forward to seeing what comes of this partnership in the future. So thank you again for joining us. Enjoy the food, drink, and get to know one another. And also, don't forget, you can lend or become a trustee in the back.
Ask me difficult questions.
Yes. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. We promised question and answer. Sorry. We're going to hold off on the fun just a little bit. Are there any questions out there that you would like to pose to either the trustee, Arturo, or the two borrowers we have, or to someone at Kiva or Kiva Zip?
Yeah, I have a question for Johnny.
Awesome.
Is the character-based lending concept, is that something that, hi everybody. Hi, thanks USF, 1984 alum. I'm here from an email. I'm part of the CCSF lending team. I'm a professor now at CCSF in the School of Business. Please come say hi. Is the character-based lending model one that Kiva feels they have sort of revolutionized? Because I think it's very cool.
Yeah, I love that question. I actually wanted to talk about this, and then I thought I'd been droning on for too long, and like Lisa is much more exciting. But yeah, we talk about social underwriting on Kiva Zip. I wrote a blog post recently on nextbillion.net called Social Underwriting 2.0. Microfinance is built on social underwriting. This is what Mohammed Yunus with the Grameen Bank in Bangladesh, he pioneered like group guarantees from groups of 5 women entrepreneurs in rural Bangladeshi villages. What we're trying to do is take that same concept of character-based lending, social underwriting, and apply it to the digital age. So when a conventional bank underwrites a loan, they look at your FICO score, they look at financial data. We don't look at that. We don't look at your FICO score or your bank statements. We have a number of kind of ways that we think about character-based lending. Lisa and Louisa got a number of people from their network to vouch for them. That's one point. Centro community partners vouched for Lisa. Kuesa vouched for Louisa. That's a second. It's based on a relationship. We also are starting to ask borrowers or test borrowers to make a loan before they get a loan. Because we've seen that borrowers that voluntarily make a loan themselves have a much, much higher repayment rate than borrowers that don't make a loan. Maybe the most interesting one of all is that we believe there's wisdom in the crowd. We've seen data that says there's a strong correlation between the number of lenders on a loan and the repayment rate of those loans. And I think that's partly because lenders are good at choosing which borrowers are going to repay. But I also think like these guys, they don't want to not pay back their loan now because they've had people from Israel and Germany and all around the world, as well as their own friends, put their trust in them. We had a borrower in the early days of Kiva Zip who told me a Kiva Zip loan is not like another loan. A Kiva Zip loan, you actually have to pay it back. And what they meant was that, when you have hundreds of people put their trust in you, even if it's with only $5, that's hundreds of reasons to repay your loan. So in my wildest dreams, I hope that we are revolutionizing underwriting by looking not just at your financial data and not kind of characterizing you by the algorithm and the averages of your kind of statistical data, but by trying to look at your relationships, your trust network, your community, and your character. So yeah, in my wildest dreams, I hope we're revolutionizing what it means for small business owners in America and ultimately the world to have access to credit. Thanks for the great setup. That was honestly not planted.
Another? Yeah.
No, I couldn't have planted a better question. Yeah.
I talk loud enough, it's okay. What do you do for ongoing, do you partner with someone for ongoing support about how to grow these businesses? They've got their loan, they paid it off, what happens next?
Yeah, so we should have given an introduction, but Arturo from Centro Community Partners, so they're one of our earliest and best trustees. We now have 600 trustees throughout the US, plus another 400 in Kenya. Some of those are individuals, like I'm a trustee. The beer behind me was our first ever Kiva Zip US borrower, and I was the trustee for them. So obviously his business is really struggling because I don't provide very good advice, but Arturo does. And the mayor of Oakland is a trustee, so individuals can be trustees as well, but the majority of those 600 are great organizations, mostly nonprofits. Kuesa is another one, La Casina, if you know those guys. So they're providing all sorts of wraparound services for entrepreneurs. We only provide the loans. Well, we believe we provide the community and the connections as well, but we don't provide the kind of deep technical assistance. We look to partner with organizations like Centro because these guys are the experts in it, and we want to kind of focus on the lending piece. But we believe this is super important. So, yeah. These are great questions. Trustee and how you become one. I'm going to pass that over to Arturo.
Yeah. I think you just go online and you sign up. Next question. No, I think it's about credibility. So how many people would you like to put your trust in that you want to borrow money? Really comes to that, and your credibility is rated. So out of all the people that we have underwritten with this social underwriting technique, they've all paid back. No one's, I think we're 100%, right? And almost 100,000, 80 or 90,000, someone like that. So it depends on your credibility. You want to put that on the line. Because it is a community, we all depend on each other, and you do not want to default on that loan. It's way too much pressure. It's different from a bank from that perspective. Yeah. And you were talking about that. Any other question?
Yeah, I mean, actually along the same line. So how do you look for organizations, or I mean, as a trustee, how do you find the organizations to kind of vouch for?
Oh, that's a great question.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't even market. So we're actually kind of hard to find. But other organizations have a little bit better marketing, at least in San Francisco. I think that's an area where we're all struggling with on trying to become much more public, become much more open to the general public in order for them to see what we can do to improve this system. So we would be totally open for recommendations, but for people, because we need more people to join in the community, not just here, but all over the world, and to be part of it. But that's a great question, and I think it's a challenge that we have to face, to be honest. Did you want to add to that?
No, I think that's great.
What are some of the qualifications or the characteristics that you may look for when you're working with a business owner to say, you know what, we do trust you, we do want to back you?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's great. Drive, character, integrity, honesty, willing to take advice. So if you ask yourself, when was the last person you took advice and went with it? If you're a person that is listening to other perspectives and then applying them, then we're open to working with you. If you're a person that is completely driven, very focused, but do it on your own, you will eventually not reach it. Or you will reach it, it'll take you so much longer that if you were to open your heart up and your mind up to other opinions in order to get to the place, and you will involve so many more people, that's a real leader. So I'm looking for real leaders, both on the advising team and also on the entrepreneurship cohorts that we build together, because we're building little cohorts of communities that are going to push each other, and we have the promise to them that within 3 years they make it up to $100,000 in sales. And so we're looking for very specific values. You talked about shared values, Dean. That's exactly what we're looking for. Do we have the same shared values? Because that drives and creates flow in the direction that we're trying to create something amazing, something great, something that's going to not only change the world, but show us an example, an indicator of how we can do better.
And just to highlight some of the ones on there and the diversity of the trustees that we have. So these guys work with veteran entrepreneurs out of Syracuse University in New York. These guys, if you know them, Meta, they work with Latino entrepreneurs in the Mission. Union Kitchen is very similar to Kitchen at Oakland in Washington, D.C. There was just a 60-minute segment about them. It was called The Greenhorns Work with Young Farmers. We found that loans to farmers are super popular with our lenders, and they have a really high repayment rate. Northern Virginia Family Service work with Latino entrepreneurs in Northern Virginia. The city of Oakland is one of our biggest and best trustees. So they've vouched for, I think, 12 small businesses. The Economic Development Department of the city of Oakland has vouched for 12 or 13 small businesses in Oakland. Centro, you've heard from tonight, number 7.
Damn.
Rebecca Parker is just a lady. She's just a lady in Oregon, and she's like vouched for 10 people, 10 entrepreneurs in her town to get loans with us, and she has a super high repayment rate. Rising Tide Capital, we launched with Cory Booker in Newark, New Jersey when he was mayor there, and now we're talking with him about expanding to the state of New Jersey now that he's a senator. And one of the most excited, I was saying to Nicole earlier, one of the most exciting loans for me was we made a loan recently to a small business owner with a barbecue shop in St. Anne, Missouri. That's 5 minutes down the road from Ferguson. So when I talk about expanding access to capital, really like why I come to work at Kiva is to create economic opportunities and to address economic injustice. So partnerships with people like the Center for the Acceleration of African American Business, which was the trustee on this loan in St. Anne, Missouri. Like that's why I come into work in the morning. It's exciting. So great question. If anyone is interested in talking more about being a trustee, we would love to do that. Anyone in a Kiva Zip t-shirt can tell you more afterwards as we hopefully chat a little bit more. Ooh, that's a great question. Well, I think a big part of Kiva's growth, and this is why Kiva Zip is now starting to play a bigger role and hopefully get more resources, he said, hoping that this is being videoed. As we grow and support more small business owners, as I said, they are a marketing team. And they are hopefully benefiting from our loans, but also helping us to pay it forward. We think that this dynamic of borrowers recruiting their own networks to be a part of our community is a big part of Kiva's growth. We are planning on integrating the Kiva Zip website into the main Kiva website later this year. That's a huge undertaking that is taking up, we have about 20 or 30 engineers here at Kiva, and that's a huge part of their task for this year. But for me, it's just continuing to grow, integrating Kiva Zip this year. We have the very aspirational target of doing 1 million microloans to U.S. small businesses by 2030, and just then throughout the world, kind of helping more and more entrepreneurs. And what we need is lenders. If everyone in this room went home tonight and made a $25 loan on Kiva, or on Kiva Zip, you can lend for as little as $5. So be a part of it. This is a democratic movement. It takes all of us to step up and actually make a loan in order for this thing to work. So that above all is what we need. Be a part of it. Lend $5. Tell people about it. Help us grow the movement. Well, great. We're gonna drink some wine, drink some soju juice. Did I pronounce it right? Eat some ice cream sandwiches, and hopefully get to know each other a little bit more for the rest of the evening. Thanks again for being with us.